Hello.
do music, I think without. I used to do music, and like that's always how you start off with the hey yo, what up, bitch? We in the studio, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit. Every time we get in
Like,
front of the mic, it's
I
like,
came to watch you and you're insulting me. What?
What up, hoes? I'm glad y'all tuned in with your puss ass, bitch ass.
Now you're sex shaming me.
Nah,
I
let me
just
stop.
got
I
Alright,
would
well, I'm saying,
absolutely turn.
Yeah.
Hoes,
I would switch.
hoes. I mean that with the most respect. Nah, I'm just playing. All right, well, yo, what's going on? All right, we're gonna go ahead and crank it up. Yo, what up? It's another day in NYC. People.
Yeah.
And we are happy today to be back in the Sweet Tea Studios. What's going on, man? Here with another panel live, complete with Omar Holman, co-author of Black Nerd Problems, Tiffy Star Child, content creator extraordinaire, Disney aficionado, and Tyrone.
Hi.
Nah, just playing. Obviously, Tyrone, stand-up comedian, extremely hilarious contributor, reader and watcher, and gamer of players, player of games. I think is what I meant to say. And yes, man, we here, bro, and it's just a lot to just soak in. Honestly, if I know we didn't discuss this, but we talk over the computer a lot, and we now meeting in person, and I'm wondering if we are meeting each other's expectations.
You're just taller than I thought you were.
Now
but
that's weird to me. Like I don't get how I seem short.
Give us the bird eye view. So
That is true.
That's why.
That is
So
true.
look,
Yeah,
we're
you
looking.
do kind of.
I like to.
Smaller.
I like to have the camera.
We
looking
met.
down.
I met Tyrone earlier. He came
Yeah,
to
he
the Sailor
came to
Boom
Sailor
party.
Boom
He's a
Boom.
nice
Yeah.
guy. Like, yeah, he's a really nice guy.
The dance moves on this guy, though, right?
Oh.
Right?
Oh,
right?
I was tired that day. I'm gonna come back. I'm and I'm gonna cut a rug. Like
You also, I didn't
Cut
expect
a
you got the Reed Richards thing going on too, like the gray on the sides and shit, and then right down. And I'm like,
That's literally how I hope my gray comes in. Like, can I? I just want the localized in one spot. Like, give me the rogue on two sides,
Yeah.
or like one side, and I can.
Oh, well, you know, it's
I
going
would
to
go
be,
for
I mean,
that.
we're talking a long time for that to happen, so.
I have won. I've gotten my first.
Is it?
yeah.
I
All right.
feel to be God's favorite.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. This was a better.
Cause you just won. We're the same age, and you got one. I'm like, I got so many.
Okay, I ventured into the silver realm, and I'm currently fighting it.
No,
Why?
Because I get like two hairs that grow here like every morning, and I like gotta go in and be like, and sometimes they get slick and try to like hide in the middle of all of them, so they want me to like cut like all this whole thing down. But eventually, I know it's gonna be like a whole table of salt.
I want that.
Salt in this
You know,
bitch.
you can still twerk if you got gray hair. It's okay.
I don't know, man. I
It
think
changes
that that's the limit. Like when the gray hair, when the salt and pepper hit, then the twerking has to
Hey,
stop.
it didn't stop Ric Flair.
No.
It did not stop him. The coke is still coking for Ric Flair, so you can.
Yeah.
I can say this with confidence. When I first met Tiffy, I was like, okay, it's not an act. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's who she is. You know what I'm saying? Like on
Which
and off
part
camera.
Which part of
The
it?
The
I think the
bubbliness,
bubbly was gonna be the
the
first. word.
bubbliness, and also the quick to hey. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah,
look,
get you talking to.
I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? She'll hit you with the Kamala Harris real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
I'm
So, yeah.
reclaiming my time.
but what I didn't know, as we've already talked about, was that she was well versed not just in Ghosts, but also Street Fighter, and as we also explored Mario Kart. So those were some pleasant surprises that I wish I had trained
Her
harder
specialty.
for.
I mean, you can't. Sometimes you can't train for that. You know what I mean? You can't train for that monster. You know what I
You
mean?
just gotta be
Yeah.
surprised.
You gotta take it as is.
Yeah, because I don't know if y'all know the story of Tyrone. We'll make this real quick of how I met Tyrone. I met Tyrone at a comedy show in Jacksonville. I think it was Tell It Like It Is that booked us.
Yep.
I think it was a good sized crowd, decent crowd. But Tyrone was in like a 3-piece suit. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
And like
I
this
see
was,
it.
This was
I see
before,
it.
like right now he's kind of like chill Tyrone.
Yeah.
I'm here in New York, but this
Yeah.
was when he was like it was like Rick Ross. Like his beard was like a whole, like it was its own entity. It had its own Instagram
Yes.
page, and he had on the suit. And he went up and destroyed it, right?
Okay.
Like completely bodied. And before we even get to how much he brought the funny, he was so fucking handsome.
Yeah,
that the girls didn't. He didn't matter what the fuck he said. He could have went up there and did knock jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, Zeddy, that is hilarious. Zeddy.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Oh my God, you're
Diddy,
funny.
tell me those jokes in my room, Zeddy. And so, like, he went up, he killed it, and of course, yeah, the women were smitten. So obviously, I had to spend my first 10 minutes roasting the shit out of him. Like, fuck this puss ass, butterscotch ass, goddamn it, fake bird having goddamn it a 3-piece suit.
I love
here
butterscotch.
3 weeks after Easter, still in his Easter suit.
He know he's hot. He know he's hot in that.
Yeah.
Who you trying to fool? Sweating, I see it.
I had to bring him down. I was like, hold on, man. You leaving with way too much confidence from this stage, man. Let's bring it back down to earth, homeboy. It showed up, yeah, but it all worked out. But I don't know how we started talking like nerd stuff, and then I was like, okay. Then we started the new Blerd Order thing, and he was like the first person that we would contact to come on, and it just and everything else is history. So I'm glad that we've been able to grow, man, and we're growing in these worlds. I've watched so much. I've seen Omar switch into Super Saiyan level GT like multiple times. Excuse me, I burped in the middle of my sentence. I tried to, that was elegant though. You seen that? It was, and I've seen Tiffy like go into rare form about some of her topics. I'm really curious though. Like we all have different interests, right?
Yep.
Like. Don't get me wrong, we have central interests, like we all are familiar with some of the mainstream stuff, but we each have like our own like go-to category that's like our baby. It's our nerd kink, so to speak. I was just wondering, like, in these nerd categories, these kinks, there's these universes, you know what I'm saying, that we exist in. Is there like a universe out of all of the nerd areas that we live in, that we're exposed to, that you would want to live, like, you know, where everybody has superpowers, nobody has superpowers, everybody has to fight? Do you want to live in a realm where, like Street Fighter, you have to fight to get money and points and stuff like that? I mean, where are you, Omar? You specifically, like, if there was a fictional universe you could live in, you know, do you know where that would be?
First off, everyone that's like, oh yeah, you know, I really like Naruto. I'd want to be like Naruto. You want to be a child soldier? You're a fucking liar. You're not built like that. You're not built like that. Anyone's like, oh, I want to be an Attack on Titan. You're in some emo shit. You need to get that checked out. You're also not built like that. You ain't no fucking scout. You ain't no fucking scout, dog. No, you be on Rose Maria. You be in the Maria wall, like with the king and shit. You ain't no scout like that. Let me tell you where the fuck. I'll tell you where the fuck I'd be right the fuck now. I ain't gonna be no fighter. I ain't fighting no war. I ain't fighting no battles for you. You know what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be in fucking Japan, high school. All right. After school, I'm going to that volleyball club.
Oh,
I'm going to that volleyball. Okay. It's not a team. It's not a team. This is the boys volleyball club. You know what I'm saying? Karasuno, we've been down. We've been garbage for like 3 years, but we got some good juniors. I'm on that team. I'm trying to go all pro. I'm not trying to go, fuck college. I'm not even trying to go to college. Fuck college. After this shit, if I don't make pros, I'm going to go join my fucking neighborhood volleyball team, all right? And I'm going to run a convenience store. That's the dream. That's the dream, dog. That is the fucking dream. I'm going to run this convenience store. Then I'm going to go coach these boys in fucking high school volleyball club.
A nice,
not a
simple
team.
life. Simple
life. You know what I'm saying? Serve, receive, spike. That's it. That's all I know. That's all I know.
His goal is to be like a extra in a freaking Tom Cruise, like
it's
Top
just like
Gun
a
beach
slice
scene.
of life, like living your
it's
life.
IQ. IQ
He just described IQ.
Have you not seen IQ?
You know, I have not. No, I haven't seen it. I feel bad now.
But we
Watch
talked
that
about
shit.
it yesterday.
We did? Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't get a chance to catch up on it yesterday.
The
What
fire.
do you mean you haven't caught up on everything?
That is how I act. That is how I act. Too.
Sometimes I sleep. Sometimes
I'm like,
I
I told you about this yesterday. You didn't immediately go and watch this thing I talked
We've been over
about.
this already. I talked about it.
Yeah, it's a high school club. It's a sports anime and sports manga and whatnot. But the team is like the center of it. And all these different personalities on a team, and okay, when someone's off the course, like when they get subbed in, what I bring in when I step on here, and they describe the atmosphere as well so much. And my favorite dude is Daichi. Daichi is the captain, and my man lost a tooth for this shit. Took a whole fucking concussion for this shit. Spit out a tooth. They had to get taken out the game. They had to put in a new kid who was going to be the leader for like the younger kids. They looked at him as a leader, and it was just it's just. Such good shit. And they're like, oh, man, I'm really sorry. I got Daichi at the game. And then the kid stepped in all nervous. And he's like, why are you sorry for? You wish it was you? Because then we'd be down you. It'd be the same issue. And the guy's like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, he whipped everybody into shape. And then they won. Then he went. And then after they won, Daichi was like, yo, I came back. I wasn't injured. I was fine, but I didn't want to fuck up the flow. Like, we were in the Nationals and shit, but like, I was giving you the spot. And he was like, all right, cool. He went to the bathroom. He was like, I made so many mistakes. I made so many fucking mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's drama. That's high school drama, man. I'm trying to do my homework, trying to do calculus, do my AP history, go fucking outside, ball work, bam, ball work, bam.
Even in the fantasy world, you have to do homework. Like, fuck this.
Well, they're high schoolers in there. So
well, yeah.
He doesn't want to fluck out because education is very important.
I actually would try to go to the college, but I mean,
But the priority is the
volleyball. Volleyball is life.
Yeah.
Ball is life.
Yeah.
Volley.
And you down,
Volleyball is
you
life.
down to lose a tooth for the cause.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
see that
Krishan.
scoreboard? You see our jerseys up there? National champions? Y'all don't know. This didn't exist before us. We made this. We made this.
Oh boy! All right, y'all sit tight. I'm going to watch Haiku right now.
Thank you.
'Cause I need to. But anyway, yeah, man, that's certainly one. I'm shocked. I ain't gonna lie. That's a. You chose the one with. It sounds like there's no superpowers or anything in this. It's
Ups,
a reality.
that's it.
It's
Ups.
just hops. Just physical acumen. I dig it. That's what's up, man.
I'm gonna
That's
judge
what's
the
up.
shit out of you. Go ahead.
Nah. I love it. I dig it. You know, hey, because it just feels like something that could actually happen in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need a fixtures world.
That's effort. I don't want that.
He's like, I don't want to actually play volleyball.
Yeah, there's a rec league for volleyball. I got my knees are kind of. I'm all right.
He's like, somebody, what universe would you live in? I'd want to be in Seinfeld. You know, I want to like live in New York and go to stores and like, all right, well, you know, you can do that, right?
It's not the same.
That's kind of encouraging. You can live your dreams. You can I don't know. I find strength and beauty in that.
Well,
Thanks for being vulnerable with us, Omar.
Of course, thank you.
Oh wow.
Thank you
What about you, Tiff? You have a world?
Ooh. Okay, so yes, kinda.
Ooh.
Krakoa.
Oh, man, damn it!
What you mean, damn it?
Fuck.
I gave you multiple chances. I was like,
thinking
yo.
anime. I was thinking.
No,
Actually,
my God. There's X-Men anime too.
Actually, no. I might not be built. I might not be built for that. Why Krakoa for
Well,
you? Why?
Krakoa because it is paradise. Like it is paradise for mutants, and if you die, come on back. Like that is beautiful. I love that. The other side is if I'm a mutant on Krakoa, I'm facing some pretty terrible discrimination, and I'm like, geez, I wonder what that is like. But like, it's so much worse. I would be black and a mutant. I would still be and probably still queer. Like I'm still gonna be checking all these boxes and horribly persecuted. And don't let there be a big old gala once a year. Maybe I'm gonna have a good time. Maybe I won't. So Krakoa on paper, except in order to qualify to live there, I'd have to live the most terrified life. Like, and I know that's the reality for some folks, but like I wouldn't step into that voluntarily.
A question: why Krakoa and not Araco?
Not a Rocco.
I'd
be accepting help. Help me.
Araco don't believe in help.
I'm not
support.
right.
Well,
support
what?
me.
I mean, it's just them.
And that's perfect for them. Like I would want to be in the place where Storm is the leader and whatnot. But like
that version.
That version. But for sure, like just to keep it simple, Krakoa.
Okay.
For that reason,
Okay.
I
But
think
you don't
I'm
have to-
more built for Krakoa than Araco.
It's a lot easier to get there too.
A little bit easier. I mean, the portals make it pretty quick. Like that's a pretty quick thing going on.
That's the burbs versus the hood.
It kind of is.
It is.
And I just need
Just the right,
Araco to get it, the touch more gentrification.
Just the
little bit gentrification in
just the
Araco.
right amount.
When we get a Starbucks in Araco, that's when you can find me there. But then I was thinking also, just as a quick one that's so on the fence, Food Wars.
I knew it.
Again,
I knew someone was gonna say it.
Food
I knew
Wars?
someone was gonna say
have
yeah.
you ever seen Food Wars? It's okay. So it's one of those animes where there's no powers. It's all concerning food. So first of all, sign me the fuck up. But also, like when they cook, food becomes such an experience. Like they experience it like in such intimate ways. You taste the onion dancing over your taste buds, and it's been caramelized with pineapple juice because we didn't have honey. Like it gets so into these real ass recipes, and the way that it is expressed, how it's so good is that people's clothes be busting off.
Yes.
Like so on one hand, I would have the most sensational food of my life. Like it would be such an all over body experience where I'm naked and the shrimp are dancing around me, and it's like that one season 3 opener of the Cosby Show when he's doing like the interpretive dance. It would be that with my hot pot, and it would be so beautiful. But how would I be a food content creator if my clothes were constantly busting off? I immediately would have to take it to OnlyFans, and I just don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment. So it just would make life a little bit too difficult. So that's why I wouldn't choose the Food Wars universe.
I mean, we could start up a different. We could do like Only Foods or something like that.
Only
Only
Foods.
Foods, I like it.
Yeah, it's just is that the path that's for me. I eat a bite of something and my clothes but like that's so
it
much.
sounds like it has a market, if you ask me.
It definitely does, but am I the one meant to fulfill that market need? That's the real question.
Hey, pioneers coming all forms.
Because you also got to realize you're living in that universe and people just busting left and right. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy my lobster bisque, man.
Right. Like, I went to Trader Joe's. I really am trying to get down on
Yeah,
this
like,
pineapple
oh, God,
juice.
avocado on toast, dog. It's avocado. It's with some salt. Come on now. Come on now.
Split the basil.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen the show, so you're teasing.
That's
That is
how
what
it
it is like. You're
That's literally
cheesing
it.
right now, but that's what the show is like, and it's not vulgar, but it is as close
Extra.
as you can get
It's right
to
there.
vulgar without being like explicit. Have
Yeah.
you seen it?
Suggestive. No, I haven't seen it,
Oh.
but I'm going to watch it.
And and it's also really good food, and so people recreate the recipes from it often. We were talking earlier about like food experiences like that. So yes, Chris.
Food. This is still an anime, right?
Yeah.
It's still an anime.
You say people create.
The food
It's
from the
actual
show
recipes.
because it's like actual recipes, and when they talk about the food and why it's so good in this naked scene, they're actually breaking down food science and why cooking the meat this way broke down the proteins and created this. Like, they're literally explaining food science. It's a crazy show, and the storyline is that he's at the same cooking school that his father went to.
Yep.
So at the heart of it, it's this I'm gonna be the best chef there is because my daddy was a chef, and he ain't leave me with much except a desire to cook. Like, that's the story, and just all of these things happen along the way.
So sort of like an edible Oedipal.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
giving like complete. It's giving Hannibal, like of Carthage, but with food. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to trust you on that reference.
All right, Hannibal of Carthage. You familiar with Hannibal of
I thought you
Carthage?
were talking about like Hannibal Lecter.
I was
No,
thinking Hannibal Lecter, like
no.
that
Yes.
that
Hannibal
made
of
this
Carthage
very not
is,
delicious.
Is a renown from historical. There's debates over it, but we claim him as in the black community.
Oh, you mean the fucking conqueror?
Yeah.
Oh,
he wrote elements. He wrote.
I never heard
elephants.
of Carthage part.
Yeah,
I didn't know it
Carthage.
was Hannibal.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hannibal of
He's
Carthage.
black.
Yeah. And he was one to bring Rome to its knees.
Yeah.
He had these tactical ways of fighting battles where he would use he'd surround the people that he was in battle with, and when they thought that they were gaining ground, then the back end would come out, and he hired mercenaries. But the reason why I thought of the similarities is because it was his father's dream before it was his. His father's dream was to conquer Rome, and he passed before he was able to do that. So he passed it down. It's like one of the dopest. Like, I mean, I'm
Real
still
life.
wondering why it hasn't been made into like a real good movie. There was talk at one point about Vin Diesel being involved, and we was like, nah, we don't want ambiguity with this, bro. This is a black man, and he needs his flowers. So sorry for making that historical reference, but when you started saying about the father and it just brought me to Hannibal of Carthage.
Yeah, just one of those good anime, like, I'm gonna be great like my dad, like type vibes for the anime. So
That's interesting. And just for sake of inclusion, the Krakoa references. If you for some reason are under a rock, Krakoa is a place on Earth where all mutants live. It was forged by Magneto, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well,
No,
Krakoa
Krakoa
is a mutant.
A living island.
Is an island? Is an island?
Araku.
Araku
was made. This one's a living.
Araku is Mars.
Yep.
Yes.
Formerly
Right?
known as Mars. Yep.
Basically, it's an I think it may be Krakoa backwards. No, it's
It's an anagram.
Yeah.
But
It's an anagram.
it was a island that lived in a different realm, but was actually part of Krakoa, and there was a whole thing. But yeah, the
Okara
terraforming
was
of
the
yeah.
Okara was the original before they were split in two.
Yeah, so when she says she wants to live in Krakoa, she's talking about an all-mutant island. You know what I'm saying?
Marvel, X-Men. Yep.
Where you know what I'm saying? And there's still problems, which is, you would think there shouldn't be no problems with all mutants living in unity on an island without having to deal with, the atrocities of the United States and the whole signing up for superpowers but yes, Tiffy has painted a picture of which that would still be a problem, unfortunately. So that's how it is.
because ideally, on paper, it is a paradise for mutants.
Right,
it could
right.
have been so good, but then humans.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's the
As
other side
always,
of it.
yeah.
If Krakoa is real, so are these issues. Ideal
Exactly.
scenario,
Yeah.
1000% my answer is Krakoa, because
That's why I'm.
Ideally.
That's why I'm like. That's why for me. I mean, not to challenge your. Obviously, it's your fantasy, but that's why I'm wondering why not Araku, because you have a whole planet. You know what I'm saying? Like you to play around with.
because
And
they
it is-
still going through their shit. I mean, they still going.
Well,
they're
from a leadership
They're about to
standpoint.
be at war. They're at
Yeah,
war right
war.
now. They're
True,
literally
right.
at
It's wild.
war.
But that okay, right? Yeah, That.
Yeah.
Just that. Okay.
I think because also the Iraqi are just brought up in such a different way. Like their whole mindset is different, and the whole we don't accept help. This is like, and it's a test of character. That's a little harsh for me. No judgment against them. I'm about this. I'm just a girl. To borrow Tasha's phrase from the weekend. Like I just want to be soft and like I will visit my niggas in Morocco. You know, I'll drive through with my Starbucks until
words are very important in Morocco. So it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to help you. Insult, I'm going to support you. All right.
Like,
we retreated. Insult, we fell back for strategic purposes.
I don't have time for all that. I be misspeaking sometimes.
Words are very important how you phrase things. Like, oh, we don't need help. Support, fine. Like it's survival of the fittest, strength, and whatnot. Now they're learning to be whatever. That's whatever.
No, spit your shit.
No, they're wartime people learning to live in a peacetime now, which is why they're at war because their old leader came back and was like, nah, fuck that.
They don't know no better. Tyrone, you got any universes, bro?
I got a couple universes.
Oh yeah.
No, I had a thought. My first thought was actually like a Gundam universe because I've always wondered what it would be like to just look up and be like, well, no school today, like that. But it's also like it's the problems of the thing. Like, oh, my house I just got crushed and now I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing. So that quickly left my mind. If you could put in a good word with Sage and let me come and visit you and we can see a Dazzler concert and get a drink at the bar. We could do a Goldilocks situation at the Summers residence. Like whatever we gotta do. Yeah, we could do that. Like that sounds like a good time. But really, I'm sick of the world's problems. I just want to live in a real chill place. And I'm like, I want to be chill. I want to be soft. I want to live in the Care Bears universe.
Ooh,
their problems,
but the stairs, bro.
But their problems were so good. Their problems,
the stairs.
Yeah, their problems would be like, he's being mean.
Yeah.
Let's be extra nice to him.
Yeah.
Lionheart, why are you being mean to Tyrone today?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just feeling real sad.
and then you give him a hug and everything's fine.
Better.
Like that's the whole point of Care Bear. That's where I want to live.
That's
I want to live.
where self-care originated.
Yeah. They don't even have genitals. Like they're chilling. They're having a great
not
time.
Not only no genitals, but no fingers. So there'll be no fingers, to play video games with, or other things.
There are no
with.
video. Wait a minute though. You've never seen My Little Ponytails, because if we're talking 80s cartoons, My Little Ponies, they still look like you have daughters and you might have seen it. So just My Little Pony,
I haven't seen it.
They have hooves, they're ponies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, My Little Pony Tales, which was like based off of the third generation of My Little Ponies, so it's not the original, but it was a very popular cartoon. Them bitches was playing piano, roller skating. They had their, and they would the roller skate would just clamp onto the whole hoof, and they would. They would do that. They would lickety split own the ice cream parlor. How did she own an ice cream parlor? But she did. That was lickety split's little shop. So don't let no fingers stop you. That's very ableist.
We could do a Dance Dance Revolution.
Right.
There's that.
You just hop in.
All right, yeah. And since there's no fingers, there's no triggers. So
ain't no guns.
There's no, but,
they got no problems in the Care Bear universe.
I would just wonder if there'd ever be like a Care Bear civil war where there's like a stir off, you know what I'm saying? And like, they have to somehow reckon within each other. If there's any colorism within the Care Bear community.
Why are you finding faults in man's happy place?
I'm looking for the.
Well, actually, in the second season of Care Bear. No, what if I just had that random information?
A black bear shows up. And wait a minute.
Only polar bears around here.
Too many.
Nah. Okay. Damn, those are good, man. I'm gonna go a little easier, man. I'm a sci-fi guy, so I love the concept of space travel. So I'm gonna go with like Star Trek. I mean, that's an easy one. I was gonna say Expanse, but I don't know. It's a little too political.
It's too close to what we have. It's just in space. It's just like the same shit in space.
A little too much on the line there.
Yeah, I don't want to have to fight with my colleagues in the Outer Rim, and you know what I'm saying. Have to deal with all that.
But real quick before you leave the Expanse, would you be Earth, Mars, or Belt?
I would be a belter.
Yeah,
I'd be a belter.
Right. Yeah, belter.
I'd definitely be a belter. I'm fucking with the belters, man. They're like the oppressed of the solar system. You know what I'm saying? And they badass now. Yep. I ain't gonna lie. Oh boy, the main villain in the end, I forget his name. But he's a little much for me. He was a little.
Oh, Marco and Aro.
Yeah, Marco. Oh, bro,
Sorry,
he just wanted to kill
now.
everything.
Oh no, I love seeing it.
Fuck the inners. Fuck them all. Like fuck Earth, Mercury. Yeah. Fuck them all. Like anybody. Once you cross this asteroid belt, bitch, this is my territory. It's like, all right, I'm cool, Marco. All right, you know what I'm saying. But I'm trying not to, but I have to because my head keeps saying now you have to say it, but. I ain't gonna lie. Star Wars is gonna be prevalent, and not for the reasons. Yes, they have lightsabers and a lot of cool animals and Ewoks and Chewbacca.
Okay.
But I just want to be able to turn the light off with the Force and not have to walk all the way over to the goddamn wall. Like right now, I wish I could just be like, you know what I'm saying? And just turn the light off right quick, like with the Force. I want to be able to like manifest, wield, and use the Force, not just at automatic grocery doors, but like, you know, everywhere I go, just be able to lift shit and like throw shit or like be thrown. Or like, and yeah, I have an extensive lightsaber collection too, so it'd be nice to actually, you know, slice a motherfucker that does try me, you know, and not to be joking about it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like these space realms. That's where I would choose to exist, you know. Mine sound really corny compared to y'all's, because
I'm just like
mainstream. You guys, he's like
Star
Foodverse, volleyball. I'm like Star Wars, major company owned Disney.
I think the only bad thing is like, all right, you're going to be a Jedi, you get to have all those things and everything, but like your resistance sucks, man. You're down like these motherfuckers get killed and wiped out all the time. Like I'm like maybe the Empire is right. Y'all motherfuckers. Y'all not earning it. You are down to IT tech shooting guns now. It is pathetic. Dudes from accounting are out there on the battlefield. It's fucking like this is pathetic.
I mean, but still, the Empire got took down by a bunch of teddy bears on the Force.
Good on them, yeah.
The first time though, but they're like the Rebellion and the Republic so bad that they just keep fumbling it.
Yeah,
that's what the last like 4 years have done for me on Star Wars. I'm like, oh, y'all are bad at this.
Yeah, I'm like y'all
really bad at this.
It's a rebellion, you know. It's not like an
organized, bro. It's a grassroots rebellion. This is.
See, they're trying to, and we won't get too deep into this, but the Republic's trying to use the same shit to rule the galaxy as the Empire was doing. They're just trying to be nicer about it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's your problem. But I'm gonna back up off that for a minute.
But the
we don't want to
Republic
get
is made of the rebellion, isn't it? I mean,
they had the same people working in that shit. They were like, you need a job, and they were like, they were like, yeah, just don't do anything bad. And they were like, okay. And they started, and then they was like, yeah, so whenever y'all just decide enough is enough, we'll just
that is true.
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
That is true. They are hiring everybody. Yeah, it's like Best Buy is hiring everybody from Circuit City. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, I didn't think about that, but it's not as much. See, I wouldn't be the active, you know, in the thick of it guy. I would be Ezra. You know, all right, you know.
Or Luke Skywalker,
or Luke when he's on, you know, when he's out there in the islands. I would be the hermit. I'd be in my hermit phase. You know, I'd be Obi-Wan on Tatooine for 20, 30 years, just living in a cave. You know what I'm saying? Just burning, chilling, and I don't even gotta like roll it up myself. I could just like, you know what I'm saying, break it up with the Force. You know, I don't even gotta bring it to my mouth, to smoke. So yeah, I like the concept of being able to not only use and wield the Force, but be able to teach the Force. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole family of Force wielders. So that's my guilty pleasure.
Tiffy in her universe, she can give you that. She could invite you to Krakoa, right? You could, you know, maybe you're a telekinetic. Boom, you already got most of the Force. And then you just go see Forge and be like, hey, Forge, can you like throw me together a little lightsaber real quick?
Oh, shit.
And Forge is like, got you. 5 minutes later, lightsaber.
That is how it works.
And then with our Starbucks, we can go visit a Rocco. It'll be real easy and real quick.
Space, there's the space. Yeah.
And can I just say that my understanding of Star Wars, because I've never seen any of it ever, is so limited to Disneyland experiences. So I'm like, okay, we're aboard the Star Cruiser and there's a rebel spy on board. Who's the rebel spy? We got to get you safe to this base because it's just the rides. Or there's Batu, so I could tell you about a Ronto wrap because that's my favorite snack, but only when I go to the tropical hideaway at Adventureland first to get some of the red sauce. So what are you guys are describing? Is that what happens in the movies?
Well, eventually, that's why the Republic keeps failing. Because it starts to become that.
I mean, the realm of Star Wars. I mean, I could say right now it's not Star Wars isn't at its prime right now. You know what I'm saying? But if I was to introduce somebody to Star Wars, that's a good question. Like, what would I say to
Andor?
How would I introduce? You would start with Andor?
I would start with Andor. I'd be like, this is the foundation on which Star Wars is built, and then I would let them go from there.
Nice.
I guess that. Okay, so a few things we can say without spoiling. So obviously you know the basics. All right, there's.
I know the rebellion sucks.
Well, I mean, look. Don't let these two. Don't let them jade you to the point.
We can litigate this if you want to.
Here's what I know. Here's what I know about Star Wars. I know there are these twins. They white.
Yes.
Stormtroopers. Yes.
They got a daddy who is black, but he's not really black. He's just voiced by a black man. He sounds black.
And he dresses black.
And when he told him, "I'm your daddy," he's like, "No, I don't want you to be my daddy." Right. I don't know why he didn't want that. Like,
did
he not have a father? Like, was he not happy to have a father figure in his life?
No, that man turned sides and killed a bunch. My man went through a whole preschool and was like, you know what?
Preschool.
They were like, oh hey, our leader Anakin, hey, we're safe now. He's like, nah, not today.
Yeah.
Woof.
And
not
so
a
he
great
killed
reputation.
a whole bunch of children.
Younglings.
Well, listen, the way
he
context.
turned sides.
He killed Jedi, and there were also children that they called younglings that were in Jedi training, and they were not excluded.
What did the Jedi do to him where he felt that he needed to express himself this way?
All right, well, just making sure you are cool with these spoilers, because these are spoilers.
I was asking.
Heavy spoilers.
You're asking.
Just asking. Okay, making sure. Okay, so don't get me started, because this is my shit right here, boy. So Luke. Is the son, and Leia is the son of Darth, but Darth wasn't originally Darth Vader. He was Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker was a Jedi trained by this guy named
Obi-Wan.
Well, he was trained mainly by Obi-Wan Kenobi, but here's where the problem lies. Obi-Wan was trained by this guy named Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon.
Tiffy's like, I don't fucked up.
Just see what Anakin did.
Damn. All right, my bad.
Hold on.
All right, sorry.
This dude Anakin, right? He was Anakin, the hero, hero of the Jedi and shit.
Right.
Okay.
Anakin
That's
is
Darth
young
Anakin
Darth.
becomes Darth Vader.
Hayden Christensen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anakin becomes Darth Vader, right?
Right.
My man was feeling himself. He's like, I feel like the Jedi are holding me back. I'm young, but I'm ready.
They do
I'm young and ready. My man was arrogant as fuck as well.
Oh.
And so when he saw like his wife would be like in danger and shit like that, he went to this dude he was talking to
that's Queen Amidala.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
He went to this guy that he was talking to, and find out the guy's like, hey, by the way, I know you've been, I've been a confidant to you. By the way, I'm evil, Sith. And so
his friend betrayed him?
Not necessarily. He just told him what he really was. He's like, I'm Sith.
Oh, he revealed his truth to him.
And
okay.
I think you should come
and
to the dark side.
And he was accepting that of his friend.
Yeah. He was like, all right.
He said he told Anakin, I can give you the power to save your wife.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, see, the context that's being missed is that Padme, Queen Amidala, was health struck. She had issues. And so Anakin had to decide, this Jedi was the good guy, so to speak, have, not given me the powers to be able to save my wife. But here's this other guy who's like, yeah, I can save my wife. Mind you, you're not supposed to have a wife as a Jedi, because Jedi is supposed to live in solitude. So he's already breaking hella rules. They have a secret relationship.
So Jedi life is not for him anyway.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I mean, if you want to get deeper, Obi-Wan fucked around too, but that's a whole other subject. But Anakin was manipulated, and that's what I think that the thing about once you get the context, he wasn't just a bad guy. Like when you meet Darth Vader in Star Wars 4, he's just an evil fuck. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sorry, Star Wars 4 is actually
part
the
one.
first one to ever come out. So it is the introduction of Darth Vader.
Correct.
And everything that's happening in the series, but it's the fourth in terms of chronologically.
The story behind that is that I'm sorry, Tiffy, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I asked a question.
Okay. The story behind it is George Lucas didn't know there was going to be multiple, so he did the first one.
How deep do we want to get into Star Wars?
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'll do my thing and be like, I don't know, because we're going down a road that's a
we're
long,
sorry.
and
But
windy
this seems
road.
like a good conversation for later,
ready.
because this is the first time it's been broken down like that. I've known these names.
I'm so excited. Yes.
Yeah.
I've definitely known the name. That's why I'm like, but I don't know how they're connected. And working at Disneyland and I'm like, little. What the fuck are you? Like, I don't know how to interact with these children. I worked in Tomorrowland and next to these places. I'm just like,
listen, the world of I cannot stress to you.
This is gonna be so much fun. We might
how
record that.
big of a deal.
We
Like
can
this could have been a whole Star Wars episode, but we can save that for the future. But yeah,
sorry to take us down this road.
Listen,
I just needed a little bit of.
I'm so glad the joy that you just brought me by being able to espouse that info, and I'm not like I have to fight myself to not keep it going because it's useless information that I now get to put to work.
And I know you sometimes don't know how to read my faces. They just my thinking faces. That's all. Like I know it's all over the place. I'm just. I gotta paint the picture in my head.
Very descriptive face. It says a lot, man. It is what it is. But I mean, in terms of movies, I mean, I know we don't all love Star Wars with the same amount, but in terms of movies, I still think that it's one of the like in terms of think about this movie came out in 1977. You know what I'm saying? I mean, lightsabers. Force wielding. I mean, they literally were using toys and like I didn't even know. Did you know, Tyrone, that the intro sequence where the words are coming up? Long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. Star Wars, and it starts going. Did you know that was like a physical piece of paper? Like that wasn't digital. Like there's somebody pulling that up, and the camera's just staying there, and it's doing like that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like they didn't. Why didn't they just put it in Microsoft? XO. He's like, no, there wasn't none of that back then. So he had to literally like pull it up. It's like,
they made that shit analog.
Yeah, bro.
Like the wide shots of stormtroopers, like in the landing bays when the Imperial shuttle comes in and stuff like that. A lot of those are just hand drawn and filled in and stuff like that. It's like it was a groundbreaking movie in so many different ways.
Yeah, man, and they had the wherewithal even back then to know that even though it wasn't black based, they pulled Billy D. motherfucking Williams out the burnt. You know what I'm saying? Put him into part 2 and part 3, gave him a prominent role. He wasn't just a side character; like he had a very pivotal role. And him and Han Solo kind of have a little rivalry going on, and like Billy D's like the suave, hey, I'm coming to give you some of this Court 45, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, Leia. When he meets Leia, he like kisses her hand and shit, and Han's like, yo, hold the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Like we know what's going on. So there's a lot I think that could be uncovered. I'm gonna ask you this real quick just before we get off Star Wars, because I know Omar has like a different feeling for Star Wars. Like he's like, I know it, but fuck it. I don't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Do you have like Tyrone as a fan? I think it's safe to call you a fan. Do you have that thing in your head that when people are like, I don't fuck with Star Wars or I don't like it or whatever, do you have that thing that's like, I don't get it? Like why? You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand like not watching some of the current projects, right? But like overall, just completely rejecting the Star Wars universe. Does that like sit well with you, or you like give it a chance type?
I do get that it's not sci-fi is not for everybody, and Star Wars is like sci-fi fantasy, so it's like double nerd stuff. Yeah. So like I get why people wouldn't like it, but I always tried to defend it, and it was easier when there were like just 3 movies to defend, and I was like, y'all gotta do, But now I'm like, it's okay, we don't have to like. But there are some things where like if anybody's interested in Star Wars that hasn't seen Star Wars, definitely watch 4, 5, 6. Yes. Definitely watch Andor. Definitely watch Rogue One. After that, have a good time. Whatever you feel.
I'm gonna throw in season 1 and 2 of Mando. But
that's fair. But even then, I like that top tier Star Wars stuff was happening in Rogue One, Andor, 4, 5, 6. Like that's top tier Star Wars stuff.
And kind of Tiffy also like what'll happen if you get immersed into the world of Star Wars, you'll start identifying with certain sects of Star Wars, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm a rebel, or I'm a Sith, or I'm a Mandalorian, or like, oh, I'm a war. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll figure out. One of the questions we had on one show we did was like, what do you consider yourself, like a Jedi, Sith, or Mandalorian? And those are there are other factions too. Like there's I won't say conquistadors. The ones that search down the Jedi after Order 66.
Oh, the Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors.
Yeah, you got Saw Gerrera's.
Yeah,
I see why you wanted to say conquistadors. For the record.
but there's I'm glad you brought up Saw Gerrera. So Saw Gerrera. Look, fuck it. We're going out.
Yeah.
Look,
is it happening?
It's happening. It's happening. So Saw Gerrera is played by your boy Forrest Whitaker. All right, in the live in Rogue One it is, and in Andor as well.
Yeah.
And here's the This is like I would call him like the Huey P. Newt of the rebels. Like he was like, no. At first he's like, okay, yeah, let's do the rebellion thing, right? And then he was like, okay, y'all ain't going hard enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We need to murder more, kill more, cause more chaos. And the rebels are like, yo, all right, well, calm down. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, fuck all that. Yo, we either go all the way or we don't go at all. And the rebels was like, you know you might be a little, you're a little RFK for us. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just sit out here on the sidelines? He's like, all right, fuck it, I'll form my own faction and shit. So like you'll learn to identify. Okay, I'm a Jedi. I've always identified with the Jedi. Yvette Nicole Brown identifies as a Jedi. Ty's a Sith. Bad Ty's a Sith. Nolly's a Mandalorian, which oddly enough she says because she doesn't like rules. But I'm like, but you can't even take off your helmet. Like that's the that's the main rule. So I think that it's worth exploring because the world is so vast that I can only hope that this little lull that they're going through right now is short-lived. And that it starts to be just as exciting as it was when we was kids and we see those things like come up on the screen. So hard take. That stuff we love. But are there movies or even shows that you've loved that you didn't understand that nobody else loved? I know you've already mentioned Catwoman multiple times. Catwoman, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Catwoman. So I know that that's one of yours. That's your lifeline. You're like, nah, look, we're going to save this movie from the chopping block. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if there's any more of those. I did it again. I don't know how that happens. Like movies, shows, things like that, when you get done watching them, like, yo, this is dope. And then you go online to tell people and you realize, oh, shit, it was whack? I didn't know it was whack. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize it.
I definitely have one. The Wachowski Speed Racer.
Oh, what is this?
Before like animes were getting live action remakes and stuff like that, like real hard. After The Matrix, the Wachowskis made a Speed Racer movie, and it was visually stunning. They did a great job with the tone of it. It matched the old school Speed Racer cartoon.
The one with like John Goodman in it and shit.
Was John Goodman? What was it? Wasn't
it?
Yeah, he played.
And
then there was Matthew Fox, Emil Hirsch.
Yeah.
It was a good cast. It was like a very hot cast at the time and stuff. But it was just they weren't trying to do like regular Hollywood stuff with this movie. They were trying to do like a faithful Speed Racer movie, and they did a great job with it. And it's so much fun to watch. And but it was critically panned, and it didn't really do well in the box office. I think it was one of those that if people went back today and watched it, they'd be like, "Oh shit, we kind of missed on this one."
Okay,
so watch Speed Racer and have a good time. If you have edibles around, or that'll only enhance your experience. But absolutely check it out.
Were you a Speed Racer fan before you saw Speed Racer? Does that contribute to it?
I was a Speed Racer fan. My dad was a Speed Racer fan, and like so he kind of like passed that down. That was like early on, so we watched the old cartoon like all the time, and definitely like so there was a. So I had familiarity with like what Speed Racer was at its core, and just like just as a feeling, and I was just like, damn, they got it right.
So my question is, do you think that somebody who's completely devoid of Speed Racer lore would be able to enjoy it as much as you did? That's not me.
Yeah, no, I feel you, and I do think so. I do think so. I think that now these types of movies, like the way we talked about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
and we talked about how they got it right, and not a lot of people liked it and stuff, but they got it right.
Right.
It was this, so like you can feel it when it feels right, and it feels like it's supposed to. You know what I mean? And I think even though you haven't watched Speed Racer, I think you'll get that, and I think you'll enjoy it. I would love if you have. I think it's like maybe a couple hours of a movie. If you can find it, try it out. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Okay. All right. Omar, did you have Forgivable?
I was thinking of let's say like a show that I like, but I think not a lot of people knew about it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of different. Maybe it's the Scott Pilgrim movie, because I think it had we know it has a strong following and shit. I don't think it did that well in theaters though.
I don't know. I haven't heard anybody talk bad on Scott Pilgrim, but that might just be my circle.
Yeah, because all the people that we know,
have
seen it, and they're like, yeah, it's great. But then like if you talk to like people who just aren't nerds, they're
I don't think it was. I don't think it did. It didn't. It was just there, but it has like this cult following.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's that. A TV show I really enjoyed was Go On with Matthew Perry. Ryan Cho was on that as well. James Tyler Williams was in it as well. It had a really good cast. And it's about this dude who's a sports announcer, and he loses his wife, and he has to go to this support group, and it's I guess an emotional support group. It's like a group of lost, like a lost support group, and the humor is not that dark, but like it's dealing with death, but they do it like such a humorous way. And that shit had 23 episodes. I'm like, Matthew Perry was fucking cooking. I'm like, this needs a fucking Emmy. And it only had one season, and then it was done. I'm like, this shit ain't coming back. I'm like, this shit helped me a lot. It was like a group therapy session every Thursday. But like, I'm like, yo, this is an amazing show. But like, no one knows about it. Like, it never even happened. Like, no one knows about this show.
That sucks, man. Tiffy, did you have anything?
Oh, okay.
I mean, we know Catwoman.
Yeah, you mentioned that I've mentioned it a couple times, so I wasn't gonna mention it
Just
again.
in case.
You know?
Don't say that shit.
So Catwoman.
So mine.
My bad.
It's not that I think that it just wasn't received well in terms of how well other Disney movies did.
Ooh.
But Atlantis is such a great
Wow.
Disney
Michael
movie.
J. Fox.
Yeah, and Cree Summer. And I just feel like it had to come out at a different time, especially when steampunk was really popular, because like steampunk went through its whole moment. But that movie like utilized a lot of those, like that imagery. We have this black Disney princess, and she's not ever considered the first black Disney princess. But she is as much as Pocahontas is, like daughter of the chief. Her father was clearly like the leader of their people. So even if it's not a princess in the traditional like European sense of the word, I guess, like Kida was doing that for us. And it was just she wasn't the traditional like female archetype of a Disney character. She saved everybody. She had to sacrifice herself in order to do so. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, and that's the thing. Like, so many people haven't seen it, and it's such a dope movie. Another one, because I have a few that are not Catwoman, and then so another one is Stardust with. I think that one is Claire Danes, and I don't remember who the guy is, but he is basically this dorky guy, and there's he is trying to win this woman's heart so badly, and they see a falling star like fall, and he goes to go fetch the star. At the same time, there are these 3 witches that are seeking out the star to eat the star's heart because it keeps them young forever. At the same time, there is this king who is dying, and basically whoever retrieves this necklace and restores the stone, like it's a red stone, and then the color seeps out of it, becomes clear. Whoever is able to restore the color of the stone is going to be the rightful heir to the kingdom. But it's like anything goes. The siblings are allowed to kill each other, so they're trying to sabotage each other. It's actually the king that sets it in motion by sending the necklace into the heavens. It knocks the star out of the sky, and that's how the story gets started. But it is this beautiful story. It's just like all mostly taking place at night with like a star-filled sky. Robert De Niro's in it, and he is a pirate captain that secretly hides that he likes to dress in drag. And it's just like the greatest moment because his crew finds out, and he's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. They're going to hate me. And they're just like, you like to dress like that, do you? All right, Captain. We follow you nowhere. Like, they're just so supportive of him, and they're like, we've always known. Like, and it's just like this movie that's so incredible. So like, those are mine. Like, they didn't do bad, but maybe they just didn't get as much attention, or if they were released at a different time, they would do better. And there was one more that was like, and I forgot what it was. What was yours that you mentioned? Because I think yours reminded me of it.
Oh, I said Scott Pilgrim, and I said Go On.
I forgot. Maybe it'll occur to me later. Yeah. But those are. I don't remember. If I remembered that, I would probably remember the project. But those are the ones like Atlantis and Stardust. They're not bad, but they just don't get the shine they should.
Yeah. Okay. Those are Atlantis. When did that come out? That's
2001.
Oh, it's 2000. Okay.
Let me see. I just randomly.
No
know
pressure.
Disney
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh no,
I was thinking.
Now my Disney knowledge is being done. You didn't do it. I know you didn't issue a challenge.
That wasn't
that wasn't
the intention. I promise that wasn't the intention. I was just thinking like, how far back do I want to go? You know what I'm saying? Because one movie that comes to mind, which I don't even think was poorly received, but I feel like didn't get like.
Sorry, 2001.
Okay, see, it's on point, on brand. All right. Did you ever heard of a movie called Last Starfighter?
Yes.
Yeah. The Last Starfighter. Yeah. So The Last Starfighter, oh my God, for any kid that grew up in the 80s, is like, it was like the pinnacle, because in the 80s, video games we had video games, Coleco, Atari, blah, blah, but video games were starting to now become like affordable and like more, household items. And so there's this game this dude in this movie plays where he finds out that the game is real. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that he's doing in this game, it's like Galaga, but all of a sudden like he beats it, and then as a result of them beating it, this ship comes down. It's like, well, now that you beat the game, we should go do this shit in real life. You know?
It's like it's a test.
I have a girlfriend.
I think that I kept seeing the preview for that movie like on a VHS before another movie, but I've never actually seen the movie. But that sounds.
Man.
And did he have like a weird costume, like a robot thing, and it just was kind of strange.
Yeah,
but probably really great for the time.
Well, I don't know if he had it wasn't robot. He did have to wear a spacesuit when he did fly like stuff. But I mean, he had this weird ass dude that came down to get him who looked like he kind of looked like Zoidberg from Futurama a little bit. And also this is a movie where you get androids. You have duplication. You know what I'm saying? You have they sit down an android to take his place while he was fighting up in space, and he had to like play a girl.
That was a really funny.
And they sit down these ugly monsters with these like and like he had like a little brother. I mean, Polaroids. It's just I just wish that I could see an updated version of that, but I think that's a movie because like I said, Tiffy didn't even see it, so that's one that I think is a good movie. I don't think, like I said, a lot of people shit on it because back in the day it was kind of breaking
popular.
ground. But
they were like, let's take this ET thing up a couple notches. That's what they did. They were like,
let's keep the good vibes going.
Yeah, so there's that, man. But what was it? There was something that I watched recently that I was like, yo, this is good. I don't know why everybody's shitting on it like this. And like Tiffy, for some reason, it's left my memory bank for whatever reason. I don't know why my memory is out of tact. I don't know. Is it things that guesses.
I do? I wasn't gonna say it, but like
Perhaps.
you questioned this.
But yeah, man, those are some things that bring me joy with or without. Like, I'm still curious about this whole this really quick to wrap this up. The Go On thing, sounded to me like it was one of those shows that became so therapeutic to you, right?
Yeah.
Where like without it, you're like, what do I do?
Oh no. My mom was dead, and so I didn't deal with that yet. And so I was watching the show, and it's telling you how you deal about loss. Like, and he's like, "Oh, I saw my wife yesterday." He's like, "That's entirely normal." He's like, "What do I do? Maybe just talk to her. Like maybe it's just it's in your head, but like talk to what she wants and everything." And she was like making him learn how to cook because he just had other people making stuff for him. Like you gotta learn how to take care of yourself. And it had really really good moments. I just really love that show. And I'm like, I've never seen the show deal with, you're talking about loss and dealing with loss, and everyone's different versions of it as well. So I was like, this is fucking brilliant. And I was like, one season. All right, fine, fuck it.
Damn, you gotta hate that, man. You gotta hate that. This shit happens every now and then. I mean, what are you really gonna do? Unfortunately, now we're not in that space. We're in a space where streaming, cable, movies, everything is up.
Yep.
I mean, we still have the big companies doing their thing, and we can only hope that they deliver. Right now it's there's what they call superhero fatigue. I believe that some folks are feeling like, all right, look, enough, man, enough. And
Never.
every
I
show,
disagree.
Never.
Yeah. Just make good stuff, and we're fine.
And never. I don't. Fuck your fatigue.
Well, I think that a good way to prove your point is like I haven't heard a lot of complaints about like The Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's because Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg actually put a good show together, and you know what I'm saying, and he combined it with superheroes and Gen V.
The Boys is like one of those rare cases where the show is better than the book.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Really?
I forgot. We were talking about this earlier. Someone mentioned something like that. Yeah, it's actually better. They did better here than the book. And I was like, The Boys is another example of that. You don't get that often.
Right.
Because The Boys is like, all right, this is like Garth Ennis. It's like, all right, this is like pretty graphic. Whatever. Cool. Oh, we're just, all right, it's more shock than anything. Oh, the violence gets repetitive. And I'm like, all right, well, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Whereas everything is put to use so well in the show for The Boys, where I'm like, oh, it's better than the book. They've gone differently, but I'm like, the direction is better than the Bible that it came from.
Tiffy, you familiar with The Boys?
No.
Okay, well, you about to say something. I'm sorry. Me and you got to switch our habits.
Don't put me in that. Anyway, I'm only the Boys is the which one is the animated one?
Invincible.
Invincible.
I think I always confuse those two.
Yeah,
I can see how you would do that.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. To me, the concept of superhero fatigue is strange. watch something else. I don't know. That's like saying I have romance fatigue. Watch a different genre movie then. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're tired of seeing this same type of thing, it's not like they're the only movies being made. There are a lot of really good movies being made. Yeah. Watch something else if you're getting tired of it. Also, like, make good but there are bad movies that exist in every genre of that. Like, I'm sorry.
I would say I think that superhero fatigue is a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yes. It's what theaters and companies will say when their movie doesn't do well.
Nice.
Or when the show doesn't get the views they want.
Nice.
Like, oh, well, there's superhero fatigue. It's like, well, maybe your shit sucks. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take it one step further. It's when studios and producers and stuff make shitty movies and then they don't do as well as thought. And they're like, I guess people are just tired of this stuff. And it's like, no, you made a shitty movie.
Can I say something maybe mean? Oh,
Let's
God.
go.
Please.
Yeah. It's like when some content creators are like, I'm shadow banned. And it's like, you just gotta switch up something that you're doing. You're not shadow banned. We just need to make some changes.
You're dipping left. Maybe we gotta dip right a little.
Maybe we gotta you bobbed when you should have weaved.
Maybe body blow.
Maybe stop using your face to stop the punch. We just dodge the punch. Don't take the jab.
Name names or it didn't happen.
I have done it before. I am shadow banned. I don't know what's wrong with Instagram. Tiffany, you're what's wrong with Instagram.
Oh, wow.
I government named myself. Like
We'll fix it in post.
No, I meant it. I don't slip up.
Okay.
But
Okay.
That's the first time I've ever seen someone say, "Yeah, name names." I'll name myself. I was like, "Oh shit, this is crazy."
Because I'm not willing to just say something that I don't stand by. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, I stand on what I say, and even I fall to that. We can have a whole conversation about like content creation and things like that, but I'll never throw shade without being like, "Ooh, it's chilly over here."
I like that. Because I do see that a lot. Like, you'll get the post like, I don't know why my videos ain't doing what they used to do, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well,
sometimes we gotta,
It happened to me too. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. And sometimes you can't say some apps are weird. We were working on a post. We were trying to do something and looking at how if it gets like 50 likes in an hour. That's weird. Pull that shit down. That does not represent me or my household.
Archive it.
Archive it. Stop it. No, take it. Like, so.
Time out.
Question.
Is that bad?
Yes.
Speak to us lower level content creators.
Yeah,
like, I'm over here like 50 likes. And holy shit. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, yeah. And there was a time when that was great for me. But at this point, that's kind of a metric of not just something is being received poorly, like this is just a bad, like something is
bad
very
time.
wrong here. This is not just a low performing video. This is fucking sabotage. Like, no, that there's something weird.
Yeah,
It would behoove me to instead maybe archive this one, post it at a later time with maybe some different hashtags or switching something up.
It's like, oh wait, somebody farted. I can't post this right now.
I can't. but you know that I'm serious about it.
You taught me. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll do the same. Like 247 has been like 40 minutes.
Nope.
Represent me, baby.
Archive it. That's not right. And sometimes my videos just perform at a lower level, and that's okay. I can repost it later. Sometimes I'm looking and it's like, oh, we've gone viral. Like, and it's a nice, pleasant surprise. Like, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I may say, you're such a dope content creator.
Thank you.
That your standards have met your progression.
Thank you.
So it's thrilling to hear you discuss the successes that you have that some of us that are trying to build our way up are like, wait till I get to the level where I get 50 likes in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, holy shit, she's shitting on my goal right now. Like, I just want 50 likes in a day. I'm just playing.
I know, because I've seen your shit, and I'm like, there's not 50 likes.
There's a lot of cap going around
editing.
Right now.
I'm not deep in your numbers. Yeah, I'm not deep in your numbers like that. So I'm just like, he knows his shit better than I do.
I'm like, your shit is not doing that, especially with the man. What is he talking? Don't you represent that class? Shut up. We're talking to you.
You just saying shit to say shit. But I never shit on anyone's numbers. Just acknowledge that, like, at a certain level of growth, there are at any level of growth, you can kind of look at things and tell, The point being, how did we even get here? But
because I don't have, like, I'm over here like
superhero fatigue, and then your shit not being as good. You're like,
maybe,
the correlation.
that's where we got there. Oh yeah, I was just like, how did we even get here?
It was like watching the pros from the cheap seats, because I'm over here, I'm on Instagram like, follow me, I'm so close to 1,000 followers. So, like, that's where I am.
But Tyrone also admittedly is not a social media guy. Like that's
I have aversions, so I just So
that's fair.
I keep
have
it
an
chill.
Unhealthy attachment. I just gotta lean in at that point. It's my only choice.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's I am impressed when I hear the like the science behind it, because y'all there is like a science behind it, and then when y'all got it down and stuff like that, I'm like, respect. You found out how to play the game. Go play the game. Yes. Me, I'm like, I like this picture. Maybe 4 other people will like this picture, and
and it was so much simpler, especially when the apps worked in our favor.
Yeah.
I would like to show this picture. 1,000 people have said that they would like to know when I post a picture, so please just show it to them. And then the apps go, how about we show them something we think they would like instead? No one asked you for that. So once upon a time, we could just take pictures of our food and share it, and we were all happy. Yeah. Here's me at Disneyland, secretly high. Like that's what the vibe is.
But sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, that's it. But that's just the vibe. But
I think that is it. I'm speaking specifically for Instagram right now. I think that there was something that shifted where I used to go to Instagram and I'd see all of the people that I follows posts. But now it's suggested this, suggested that, suggested this. It's like they don't even show you, and you almost sometimes have to push stuff out just so it can be seen by your own following. Yeah. You know, I'll boost reels. I'm not gonna lie. I'll boost a reel every now and then, especially if it's doing well. And it's like, why should I have to pay for the same people that are already following me to see the shit that they're following me to see? Like, it's so you start to, I think I fell into the trap. That's what they want.
Yeah, we're going to put the system on trial.
Right.
Yeah.
That's back in
talking about.
I want to say 2017, maybe 2017, 2016, where I started seeing it happen through Facebook, where it's like, oh, we have 99,000 folks like this thing. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. Then it was like, all right, put a video out. I'm like, all right, it's doing its own thing. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, if you want to reach the rest of your night, why do I have to? They started bottlenecking.
Why do I have to pay you?
I was like,
is that just capitalism?
I think that is just capitalism.
And because that is what sucks. And you said it earlier. That is what they want. They want you to pay for these features. You can reach your audience, but you can pay us, and you can reach more of your audience. Right.
Of your own following.
Of your own following. And that's what sucks. If you rely on the social media sites, you're kind of victim to whatever happens. You're victim to the algorithm acting up. Maybe not a shadow ban, but you're victim to that. Yeah. And if someone decides that your account needs to go, they don't like what you're saying, or they don't like you, or there were a lot of rumors for a while that TikTok was suppressing content by Black creators. You have no choice but to just vibe with that, unless you take your content to someplace else, your own website, Patreon, someplace where you can monetize without falling to the algorithm and things like that. It's a hard thing to do. And a lot of people just do it on the side or for funsies. Right. Some people do it as a living. So like trying to balance all of those things while battling the conceptions that people have, or perceptions that people have about content creators and who they are, and you've been out to eat with me. I take pictures of all the food, but it's also like feeling the vibe. If people weren't into that, it's not going to happen because it's not that serious. Also, I got some friends trained very well. He gets and ways to take the picture. So there's so many layers to it, and just so many things. It stopped being just post a picture. Yeah. Post a reel to the people that it stopped being that a long time ago, unfortunately. So.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of experience in this biz. I mean, what else do you think? Just let's talk to the young up and coming, to the young newfound. I want to join the world of full-time content creation. Sure. Like, what are the ups and downs, the tribulations and trials? What are some of the pointers that we can maybe discuss when it comes to this? Because it's not for the weak.
No,
it is not for the weak. I mean, you could be depressed. Oh. Like it'll fuck with your mental acuity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch on.
But the bright side of that is, when motherfuckers come and love you for who you are.
Why have a private journal when you can just turn on the camera and tell everybody your business? Yeah.
public. Fuck private shit.
So like off top, one of the difficulties is like when it's your full-time gig, money. Because you have to be real good with money, and it's not consistent until you start booking deals that are 2-year contracts, and I'm making this amount of content within that time space. When you're like booking those type of jobs is the goal, and in between it's the little jobs you get in between. So I can work with a couple of brands because I also host. I can do this here and there, but it's very gig based and looking for work and doing things and putting yourself out there. And that's the downside, which can also be an upside, but it's just one of those things that people ask about up front is the reality. The other side of it is like you can only sustain what you can do authentically. I can't fake the shit and keep it up for very long.
100%.
And I think that people fall into that trap of wanting to present themselves or their lives a certain way, and it's not sustainable. So if you get up and talk about things you're passionate about, I can get up and talk about Disney because I love Disney. I don't have to fake any of this. If I'm not talking about Disney, I'm not feeling it at that moment. So like for me, I go with the wind on how I'm feeling, and that way it stays interesting. I also have the benefit of having cultivated a community since like 2018. So even though I have moments of going viral and the account grows, I have a base foundation of people that just fuck with me, period. And it still blows my mind. Like I'm saying this casually, but I just started off, again, posting pictures of my food and my Disneyland dates, and along the way, some people started to care. I was not ready for that. And then with the villain PR and the skits, I'm more recognizable at the farmer's market, at restaurants, definitely at Disneyland and conventions where there are more nerds and like-minded people. But I just can't go out in San Diego looking regular because you ain't going to catch me slipping and looking in any type of way because people, they do, especially because this is just my everyday hairstyle. I didn't put it on for the skits. That's weird in and of itself. So there are a lot of good things, I think, to navigating this space. But if you're going into it looking to go viral or looking to be popular, it's not impossible, but it's going to be a lot harder. Like you're just setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment because a lot of times people see people go viral. You see someone make it and it looks like it happened overnight. 100%. Very rarely is that the case? And then when you do have people that luck into a really amazing viral video, like chicken salad lady, like what is this? It's a chicken salad. Mm-hmm. You know, what was the word that she said? It was not exceptional. It was something that she said, and that was a very popular thing. She did try to monetize that and do some things afterwards. It's hard to take a viral moment and get people to still care afterwards. So it feels super dope because I'm in a position where I can build a community and talk shit and then meet new people and do podcasts. And I met Black Nerd Problems and that group of friends from doing this as well. But it's hard. It's hard.
It's definitely hard when you put your effort in it. You spend hours recording, editing, re-editing, refining, posting, hoping for the best, and then you look across the street and a motherfucker says where the money resides. Right. Or says, got him. You know what I'm saying? Or says, he out here, hide your kids, hide your wife. And these motherfuckers are living for at least a year or two off of these quick posts because those are natural, organic, viral moments. I'm not trying to, like, I'm
right.
Low-key shade, but no shade. You know what I'm saying? I'm just expressing the difference between effort viral and effortless viral. So motherfuckers can go viral by falling off their bike or
by
like getting hit by a car.
Anything. And you can't, and so that's one of the things where you can't control it, so you let it go. Yeah. The only thing that you can control in life, but especially in the content game, is what you produce and what you put out. I'll never switch places with someone that went viral that quickly because what's the point if it's not something that you can create and like and put effort into again and continue to create? That doesn't appeal to me. I don't want to say some quick little thing and it becomes a sound bite and that's what I'm known for. I've written something, I've created something, I've shared it, it's made people feel a certain way. That's more important to me. Not saying that my values have to be the same as anyone else's, but there's, I don't want a quick little viral moment. And a lot of people don't know how to sustain that even once they get it. So you had your viral moment. You had your 15 minutes. Now what?
Yeah. If I may, and this is for you and Omar, I'll go to you, Omar, first, and then Tiffy, if you could follow up. The difference that you may notice as a black content creator versus everything else. Do you see with, like there's a different level to your content creation, because we don't make up the majority population in the United States at the bare minimum. So when we put out our content, we're already, especially for Black Nerd Problems, this is not just nerd problems. You've identified, your target audience. You know what I'm saying? So, like, is it a more difficult thing to like run in such a refined space, or do you find yourself sometimes, saying like, "Damn, did I really have to like make it Black Nerd Problems? Should I open this up more?" Or like, just talked about the complexities of that whole foundation.
Oh well, that was a joke. I mean, William Evans, who's my partner for this.
Shout out to Will. Fuck Stringer Bell.
Reference to his essay. When we were doing this, I mean, it was a joke. Like, oh, when we were, I think it was the black dating. No. It was like nerd dating, right? So like all these nerd dating problems was the hashtag back when Twitter was having, oh, here's that fun hashtag, and we all get to chime in. That was the thing. So, all right, we'll make this nerd problems. Like, well, yeah, we're nerds, but like, there's something else very distinguished about us that you can't really ignore. So that was like, I mean, it was a joke. Like, oh, these are Black nerd problems. Like, oh yeah, here's your nerd problems. Like, well, this was like to be a Black nerd and have, these problems.
Let me interrupt you a little bit. Keep your thought. You're good with the memory.
Okay.
I want to know when can you delve into when the decision was made between you and Will?
Oh yeah.
Like I want it like inside. Give us the fly on the wall perspective of like, okay, should it be Black people problems? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like when you were like, okay, that's it. Like, okay, that's the name of the book. That's what it is. Like,
it was because the name came up for the site with first. I feel like I am. Oh man, sorry. All right, is the name we came. I'm reliving the moment with Will. Like,
yes, that's what we want.
I was back in the rap basement. Right there. I was doing 3 albums a day.
Come on, Tigger. Get in the booth.
Yeah, because it was through that hashtag. It was like the old nerd dating thing. It was like, oh well, here's what's like a Black nerd problem is this, and he just came up with it, and I was like, oh well, yeah, and that became like the running joke. And I remember Will was like, because we met through poetry and doing slam poetry and shit like that, so we were kind of like coming at not the end of that, and so we had made that joke. And Will watched this podcast where he was it was a Mad Men podcast, and there's a scene from Mad Men where there's a woman that invites a Black coworker over, and she's leaving her to like go to bed, but then she realizes her wallet's still on the table, and she's like, oh man, now here's a really weird choice. Do I go and get the wallet, which might assume I don't trust you in my household, or do I leave it? And it's like, well, fuck, I gotta trust you ain't gonna steal that shit. And Will was watching a podcast that talked about Mad Men, and he's like, oh, I was waiting for this moment to talk about it. And they're like, yeah, and then that one scene with the wallet, yeah, that was really great. All right, then the following scene was like, no, let's I want to talk about the scene.
Right.
So I was like, well, wait, we can be the guys to do that. And that was he made this in 2013. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, this wouldn't be. He's like, would this be a crazy thing to do? We've got to, we have the name Black Nerd Problems, right? And we just made that a website, we buy the space for it, and we just get people to talk about these things. It's not being talked about. And it was, let's say it was the 12th. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a possible idea, yeah. The next day, the 13th. So I bought this website domain, and I got someone working on the website.
Yes.
It was literally that fast, and I was like, oh, through the power of Will Evans' wallet. And so that's why
did y'all discuss this in person? Was it over the phone? Were y'all together so much that
it was in a G chat? It was in a G chat. And yeah, we decided like, okay, we're gonna go on this venture, and we're not gonna just have it be the two of us. We're gonna create a whole like team because we don't know everything, and we'll have people to cover the things we don't know. Obviously women, obviously queer folk, like all these things we do not know about. And so that was it was joyous because I was like, oh, we're just writing essays we like and stuff like that and putting them online. And oh look, people are reading them. Oh shit, like this is catching on and stuff like that. Oh wow, Marvel wants us to write. They're sending us reviews. Actually, no, not even that. We're just doing reviews, and Marvel's taking them and putting them on the cover of their trades, like just from doing what we were doing, just regular doing what we're doing. Like, oh shit.
Problems? Are there any? I mean, like navigating through this space, what would you do different?
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
No. I asked for the origin story, so you didn't do anything wrong.
Problems.
No, I'm not asking to dish tea. We're not asking for tea.
No. I'm just trying to think of
Hey, look, if there's no problems, there's no problems. You don't got to make none up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything's sunshine and rainbows, fam, we Gucci. But I would just assume that in our space, there's always an obstacle or two.
I'm just trying to. I mean, maybe as everyone says, I'm not a negative person, but I'm like a cynical person. It's like, oh, now I gotta think of some problems. No, I'm trying to think of like.
Well, don't make up any if they don't exist, bro.
Come back to me then.
Yeah. I mean, I would ask the same to Tiffy though, but not obviously about Black Nerd Problems, but just about navigating, especially for a Black woman in Disney space. You know, we still don't have any Black men in Disney cartoons. You can talk about, I mean, the animated, like the mainstream animated shows. I mean, I know you could go to Disney Plus and find a couple shows that they've brought out in the last couple years.
I forget. I can't remember because the movie didn't do like big, huge numbers, but there was one that had a Black lead in it. And then there was Wasabi from Big Hero 6, and then there's Sweet from Atlantis.
And there's the guy from Princess and the Frog, the one with the hat.
Dr. Facilier?
Dr. Facilier as a villain, and then there's also there's another there have been a few Black here, but there's
no main.
The entire of Soul is around a Black man, but that's it's kind of weird the way that they did that. They tend to give the same amount of respect that they do to Black women. It seems like you're an animal, or you're in a small feature, or whatever, or you're an animal. So the question is, being a Black woman in Disney spaces,
well,
or
just in the content creation space. I just know that Disney is a good part of your lexicon, so I just.
Disney was a big focus and center of my content for a while. The best thing that I did for myself was unniche myself from Disney.
And that unniche.
And that allowed me to be more authentic, because in real life I am not G or PG rated. And when it comes to working with Disney, it was very difficult, especially as a Black person, to know if you were not getting the same opportunities as other people, because maybe there was something on your page. And we would hear back unofficially from inside sources, don't have any alcohol on your main page, don't do any swearing in your captions or in your videos or things like that, don't talk about sex, all of these things. And working with Disney was not important, even as much as I love Disney and I have Mickey Mouse tatted 3 times on this arm, but like, it still wasn't important enough for me to switch up the whole way. Because like I said, content needs to be authentic to how you're living your life. It was inauthentic at that point. Like, I'm just this very cleaned up version of myself, and that's just not true. Right. So the best thing I did was stop keeping myself to that box. But there are challenges where you hear that, Black creators don't get as many opportunities. There do seem to be only a few seats available at certain tables from within the Black community and spaces. I've had my content stolen and things like that. So the already limited spaces, someone's getting access to it off of what I've built. So it's been difficult, and I imagine like it is in any career thing, only it's much more facing forward, and it's in the public, and you have to make sure that you're kind of marking what you say, you don't say the right thing, you represent yourself well, all kinds of things. But I would still say that it's pretty dope. Like, at the end of the day, I am an adult woman that gets to talk about nerdy shit and just talk, period. I'm a talker. I'm just running my mouth. Woe to the people that are around me, because they just got to hear me talk. And from the moment I wake up, I'm set to go. As soon as my voice box clears and I'm not sounding like a frog, I'm good until I pass out at night. Like, so being able to be in a space where I literally just get to make a living talking about these things, or making jokes about these things, making skits about them, that's really, really cool. Like, I would encourage people that want to do it and have the ability to, and I think that people have more access to things than they believe. It's you can make content. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be filmed a certain way. At the end of the day, turn the camera on and go. And that's where you start. That's how you get started.
I'm sorry. I think that one thing I overheard y'all saying, I don't remember. I think we were on the screen and we were like, the show was over. We had filmed New Blerd Order, which is obviously the show that we're watching right now, which we do broadcast 10 a.m. Saturdays, and is also available on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, whatever, and Facebook and other stuff. But I recall hearing, and this is one of those things that stuck in my head. You were telling Omar he had just posted something, and he was. I hope I'm not putting you on blast, but he was like, I didn't really hit the way I wanted. And then Tiffy said, it's not always about the numbers.
Right.
She's like, it's not always about the numbers. Did you like that shit? did you like that shit? Then that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to remember that, like, I think that when you get that viral hit, when that one flows, especially when it's unexpected, like you start to develop an unrealistic set of expectations for every single post. And it can become mentally detrimental for those who are now basing their happiness on how well their social media platform is doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, do you go through those type of things?
Absolutely. And I know we were talking numbers before and looking at them and saying, oh, this one's not performing well enough, I'm going to archive it. It's a balance, because I've definitely, in the years I've been doing this, have fallen into that trap of tying my self-worth or how good my content is based on the numbers. But like we just discussed, those numbers are not in your control. You have to let it go. And so that's part of it. You have to find the balance of, I know my page and my audience and how things normally move. This is not normal. We're going to post it again. And if it still performs kind of low, that's fine. But these numbers are an insult, and this is ridiculous. There's that. And, you know, and not being obsessed. If you go through my Instagram, and this is not to brag on my numbers, you'll see some that have 50,000 likes, 90,000 likes, and some that have 2,000 likes. And I don't hide my likes. It's like they're all just right there, because it goes like this. Maybe someone will come back and see something and scroll through an old page. Maybe there's for Villain PR, I did Debbie Jelinski, who is the Joan Cusack's character from Addams Family Values. It didn't do that well last year. I'm going to repost it this year, like, since it's Halloween time again. Like, you just let things go. You keep it pushing. Do you stand by what you put out? That has to be enough. And strategically, if you want to put it up later to see if messing with the hashtags or trying different words in the caption for the SEO to see if that type of stuff works, go for it. Absolutely. Because the other side of it is numbers can help determine when it comes to brands and getting paid for things. They want to know how much of your audience responds to what you post. So in a way, numbers are important for business, but not for determining your value in your work or the quality you put out. One of my lowest performing videos on my YouTube, I won't take down. And and it's, even to me, it's kind of teasing. I'm like, damn, I was really in my healing era then. What the fuck, Tiffany, shut up. But like, but it's how being grateful changed my life. And to me, I'm like cringe. But in that moment, I felt like making a video. It's in no way related to nerd content, but just in how, in switching my outlook to gratitude, helped frame some of the way I was thinking about things. And I only leave that video up because someone commented on it at some point, and they said that this video helped me so much, you have no idea, blah, 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 blah. One of those messages. And that's kind of the best illustration for, it's not about the numbers. Someone saw that video, and they needed it, and it was the right video for them. That's a more personal thing, but even when it comes to brand deals and things like that are important to you, you never know who's seeing your video. Maybe it doesn't need to be thousands of people. It needs to be just one. So, like, at the end of the day, leave the video up. You never know what's going to come from it. And if you feel the need to repost later, you can. Just don't tie your worth and value to this number system. We have no idea how it works. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even anywhere near your level, but if I had, thank you. I appreciate the optimism. But one thing I could definitely say, even though I'm not giving out advice, is give yourself time to breathe. Like it sometimes I'd find myself in a zone, right? And you're like, oh, this one did well. Oh, this one's doing well because that one did well. And then, maybe that zone, depletes after a while. And then, mentally it's like, well, did I do something wrong? Or, you know what I'm saying? And so I would just say, listen, sometimes just put the phone down, step away from it for a day or two, or even a week or two, and get yourself together. At the end of the day, remember, as much as this content, as much as it could be a potential source of income, it's still an app. It's still a goddamn app that's very deletable, you know what I'm saying? And it should not run your life, even if it does help you establish a following.
Or like any job, even if it's a job, you don't bring home the paperwork and work 24 hours. That's unhealthy. So and that's what's difficult. Anything in my life can be content. I can justify filming anything,
of course,
anything at all. But I will go crazy. The camera's always out. I always have something to edit. Like, that's overwhelming. So like any job, give yourself balance and boundaries and space. And with anything, you do have to be in a certain mental place because it will fuck with your mental health.
Oh, man.
And if you're coming into it with that already kind of shaky, it's not going to get better dealing with this. So
my first experience with that was when I had like one viral video hit, like oh no, this is before the viral video hit. I got my first international comedy tour. I went to Japan to do 3 cities, and I had my homeboy with me, and he lived in Japan, you know what I'm saying? So I'm out there, and this is when I just, like, Instagram skits were popping, you know what I'm saying? I was, as a stand-up comedian, you know, everybody's doing skits and, when you're a guy, but the girl shows up to the, all those skits. And so I'm out in Tokyo, and I'm, like, literally going everywhere, filming everything and trying to make skits out of everything. And my bro was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, put that shit down. You're in Tokyo. And I'm like, yeah, I got to get on this shit. I got to make a skit. And he was just completely oblivious to the notion of content creation and just thought that I was completely missing, like, out on the experience. You know what I'm saying? And for that matter, he was right. And then I did all of that work, and, like, I posted the skits that I made, and they didn't even hit. You know what I'm saying? It was really for naught. But I think that was when I first realized, like, yo, you might be investing more than you may need to. But sometimes that battle, because, like, I see Tiffy, not to harp on you, but let's keep it real. Like, you're killing it with the numbers on all of your sites. So that's why I keep going to you. Like, we've had challenges. We had a video where we did together that you had to unclip yourself from, you know what I'm saying? Because of the potential for it to take away work from you and things like. So you had to, like, consider, like, damn, like, is there any other content that's kept me from getting work? Or,
that was the only one where it felt worth it to censor myself. And that was just, because with social media and people, and we said that comprehension is at an all-time low. Some of the clips, like, from the podcast, especially like the Aladdin one, if you take it out of context, it looks like I do not like Disney, that I hate men, all of these things, where if you come over to my page, Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie. Like, literally, I think the icon I use is the blue one and me having a drink. If you look closely, I am cradling a whole bunch of Aladdin stuffies. The jacket is a Raja jacket. Like, I love this stuff down, but you wouldn't know that looking at that clip. And not to make it sound like you did anything wrong in that clip. Nah, it was very funny. It did what it was supposed to do. But if someone, and I can talk about it freely because that moment had passed, this was when I was being invited to Disneyland to see Halle Bailey perform A Part of Your World in front of the castle. So when they told me that they were submitting my name for that, and people were looking at my social media, take this potential Disney bashing shit down right now. Like, and again, they're probably not going to go to the new Blerd Order. They're not going to go to and see how much I make cussing and swearing. So I do keep it a certain level of with I'm comfortable with how I'm represented online, and it worked. I had to undo it from that. I went to the event and had a good old time. So in that regard, like, I don't mind kind of editing myself a bit, because the reality is you have to play the game, and that's just like anything in life. Period. Unfortunately, you have to play the game, and to me, things like that, kind of adjusting the perception maybe, or just going to, schmoozing, being a little bit slick with how I move. That's calling back, like, to the other conversation, why I identify with Emma Frost. We'll do that to move through and navigate through these spaces. It's not dishonest. It's just no one's being harmed. I'm just making sure what you see is what you like, like, gotcha. that's using it to my advantage. So that is within my realm of I'm comfortable making adjustments for that.
Just to be clear, I wasn't trying to come at you for that. I was bringing up.
I do not feel came at.
Okay, all right. I didn't. I was like,
no. You're totally fine.
But a completely different subject. You have how many Disney tattoos on your arm? What was that?
I have 3 Mickey Mices, but it's because it's one piece, and it's called the Star Trader Mickey. I'll send you nice footage of it so you can superimpose it over this moment. Yes. But basically, at Disneyland in Tomorrowland, which is I've loved Disneyland since I was a kid. There is a building there, and it has these Mickeys, and it's Star Trader Mickey, and he's like, it's him in space. So he's posed like this, and he's floating in space. So his body is kind of adjusting, and it's surrounded by stars. The neon sign is like pink, purple, and blue. And I've just always loved it since I was a kid. So it is just Mickey traveling amongst these stars. I loved it when I was a kid. It's a big nostalgia moment. When I first started working at Disneyland, when I did, I wanted Fantasyland because I'm a Fantasyland bitch. And then they put me in Tomorrowland attractions. I was angry. I was so angry. But then I walked into Tomorrowland and I looked up and I saw that sign up said, we're going to be all right. So like that to me was like the moment. So it's just nostalgic. The funny thing is I've done a couple of panels with Paul S. Levine, who was the executor of Jack Kirby's estate right. And so I've done a couple of panels with him. And when I tell you this man went out of his way to continuously point out that Mickey is a racist caricature of black people. And I'm like, I get it. Paul, sir. Please. Paul. My best friend Ebony is in the audience. She said she knew, like, Ebony was not having it. It's like she said she got it. Because she's recording the panel, so it's on film. And she's like, she knows.
Yo, could you expound on that? What was he saying about Mickey being racist?
We were just talking about the changes. I forgot what we were talking about in that damn panel. I don't know what we were talking about. But for some reason it came up and he was like, you know that Mickey. Like, and he's just this old man that's saying it very like measured and all of these things. And I'm just like, thank you. Well, the tattoo's there. Next to the Bulbasaur. So it's not going nowhere. He's there 3 times. So.
You have any more nerdy tats? I see Omar has like swords and X-Men shit and.
I have the Bulbasaur here. Yeah, because I'm a big Bulbasaur gang. Bulbasaur. I do want more. I want Avatar. I want Sailor Moon. I want the crying anime girl eyes. Ooh. Things like that. I'm trying to keep it to this arm, but whatever happens, happens. Yeah. I don't think it would be a full sleeve. Like, definitely forearm and maybe right here.
Okay. Leave the skin in between.
Yeah, and I tend to. Oh, and these are My Little Pony based, but these are yeah, the heart ones are from My Little Pony.
It kind of gives me Constantine vibes. Remember Constantine had the tattoo?
Yeah, that shit was hard.
That shit was dope
I
as hell.
actually hate these so much.
What?
Yeah, I liked them at first, but I'm sorry, y'all know. I can't believe I let a man permanently mark me. Like, first of all, because he was not a good tattoo artist, and that was, I'll never go to a man again for a tattoo.
Oh my god!
But well, and then I was breaking up with a boyfriend at the time, Brandon, and
that's my brother's name. Shout out, Brandon. What's up, man?
What type of Brandon?
And when I broke up with him in person, because I'm a decent person, and for some reason, I don't know why I didn't stop him. He's like, oh, you got a new tattoo? And I was like, yeah. And he like lifts my arm and he kisses both of them. The tattoos fell off. What? They fell off. They shriveled up and literally scabbed completely off. So these are actually cover-ups of the hearts that the tattoo artist had just done.
Is he a sorcerer? Like, why did that happen?
The nigga was clearly so toxic that literally that's the only I would not believe it if it didn't happen. It fell off a full and it was a heart like I had never seen.
It was just like no.
Yeah.
It was like,
can you get tested for
that?
That is wild shit.
That shit was incredibly wild. So yeah, so their cover-ups, they had to be darker than they originally were. Because My Little Pony, one of the generations of them, like if they were a light pink pony, they would have hearts above their hooves that were like dark pink, but it was always just a little mark that I thought was cute, like little subtle nerd things I like as well. But Brandon fucked it up.
Yeah,
fuck you, Brandon.
Fuck you, Brandon.
Because I know that you're watching
Brandon.
this shit.
You're probably watching it.
You know he's watching it from the burner because
Also,
he's blocked.
Nobody kissed Brandon.
Yeah, nobody kissed
kissed
Brandon.
this dude. Yeah.
Fuck you, Brandon. All right, and fuck you, T'Challa. That's a callback from.
I hope they've seen yesterday's episode.
Yeah, I was like,
we're gonna have to fix that in post. But Omar, talk about your tats, man. Talk about the tattoos. Ink, bro. Yeah,
these are from. Which one was it? It was a Naruto character. He was part of the Katsuki. I saw him with the tattoos. I was like, I want those. I'm gonna get them. Now I see a bunch of people with different versions of this tat. Like some are thin, some are thicker, and I'm like, I feel like I'm either a part of a cult or a gang, and I do not know. Some people have it up here, and I'm like, I don't. I got these for an anime reason. What did you get these for? This is actually the Scott Pilgrim from Scott Pilgrim. This is Gideon Graves' logo, and it's 3G. It's literally the Triforce from Zelda flipped upside down.
Nice. That's what it
looks
like.
But when you do that, you see 3 Gs, and they're also 3 7s because he's the 7th Evil X.
Huh.
And I got his pixel sword going through it. I have the X-Men tattoo. On the
Yes,
chest.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Tyrone has that one, but it's on his shirt.
I was like,
but if I did have a tattoo, that'd be like one of my first choices.
I have the Green Lantern. This is my very first tattoo. My sister and brother took me to get it. We were supposed to get all. We were supposed to. I have there's a T and a K, and there's the sniper scope is the O, and we were all supposed to get TKL because Travis Kesey Omar as our initials, and we were all supposed to get that in a tattoo. My sister got her. She got her tattoo on her lower back. Known as a tramp stamp. I'll say it. And because here's why I'll say that. And then she got it done. She's like, yeah. And I was like, hey, where's the initials? She's like, oh, I'll get it done later. I was like, oh.
that was not the agreement.
Oh, okay. And then I look at my brother.
Agreement.
I look at my brother who came in. I was like, where? You didn't even get a tattoo. And he's like, yeah, I feel like I'd be cheating on the guy I usually get a tattoo with in Arizona. So I'm not going to get it.
Damn.
So I'm the only one
Hilarious.
that has TKO.
I can give you an alternate reference for that, though. Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, that's their dance crew's names, TKO. Turbo, Kelly, and Ozone.
See, you get it. Now you good. Now you good.
You got it.
It still hurts. It's still.
How come after all these years, there's been no like, hey, let's
No,
close
I don't
this
want
chapter.
it. No, I don't want
You
it.
don't want it's too late.
No, I don't. Let's close the chapter by getting a tattoo together.
Like they should get the TKO. I think
They wanted to do one like they wanted to. Hey, we'll all get one according to mom. I was like, no, I did my shit already. Y'all do that, and I don't trust you.
I don't think
I
that
don't trust
you
you.
have to get anything else. I think that they need to find a place to TKO.
Yeah.
Somewhere you got to put TKO up.
Yeah, man.
And I have This Man, This Monster, which is a reference to the Fantastic Four comic book on this side, and I have hockey on this side, and I think
You were a hockey player?
Hockey, yeah.
Hockey.
Oh.
No.
Hockey from One Piece. That's the.
Oh, okay. All right. I
Sorry,
was like,
hockey
what?
is
over here now.
It's a technique used in One Piece to like harden yourself or
Nice.
weapons and things like that.
I like the Green Lantern shit.
Oh
man.
yeah. I believe that's all of them. 1, 2, 3,
Dope.
4. Yeah, either 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Like you're doing a haka.
Yeah.
I do have one more on my back. It's a fairy that I got the instant I turned
When
18.
Are you going to commit to the tattoo on the face of a heart on the cheek? Boom.
Omar wants me to get my face tattooed because he doesn't care about me.
Lie. I think you're already. I'm like, it just solidifies your commitment to the.
Because I always wear something right here, and this has evolved over like the past couple years. But I used to do a tiny little heart right there, and he was like, "Why don't you just get it
Do it.
tattooed?"
Nah.
And,
Do it.
and I considered it for a hot second. I'm like, "Why don't I get it?" I'm like, because why would I do that? So let's
All
let
right, that was
that
done?
dream has to be let go.
Is that an area one can pierce?
It can be pierced, and I've had the microdermal piercings, the surface ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've had 3. Let me tell you how they all got ripped out. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Oh yeah. So you know the microdermal, those are the ones that like if this is the surface of the skin, that goes in and then makes an L shape underneath. So it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how it hooks into the skin. And this bottom L piece has a little hole in it. So when the skin grows back after it's been pierced, it grows through that hole and anchors it into place.
That's already
On the
good.
surface of the skin, there's a little nub, and that's what you can screw the jewelry in and off. It's just like a piercing, but there's one hole instead of 2, like an entrance and an out. There's just one. So I had it here, I've had one here, and I had one here. And this one was dumb because I was working at Disneyland and on mic where we had to have the thing. And so when I would take the microphone off, I didn't notice that it would pull like a little bit. It did not hurt. It was pulling it so little each time that one time I went to go tuck my hair behind my ear and the piercing was in my hand. And I was like, okay. And it was like completely healed. It just slowly would pull and heal over the course of such a long period of time that it just went away.
You can't put it back in.
And no, it would be a re-piercing at that point. No point in that whatsoever. one on here on the side, my friend BB at the time was just like, "Oh my God, your piercing is so cute. Is it healed yet?" And like, and then that caused it to reject completely. And I was like, "Right." And I was like, "BB, you little bitch."
Not
like,
now.
like
Not now.
It's not done. And the last survivor, but that one also needed to go because they kept getting caught on the loofah. Like it was bad. And this one on a loofah, yeah, I was using a loofah and it just got caught in the net. And it was just, oh, it was awful.
Gang? Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And then this last
Team
one,
washcloth over here.
it was sexy time, and it was sexy time.
Oh, time.
The last
okay. I
time.
thought it was like a tie. We got bad tie, good tie, sexy
no
time.
Yeah, there's this third tie here. It's sexy tie.
Okay.
No, so it was sexy time, and I told that gentleman to choke me, and he did. He did it very well. But the problem was when so he's choking me, right? And so his forearm was resting on like right here. And when he moved, this was the worst one. When he moved his hand, he slid his arm down and he just slid that piercing right out.
Oh.
It was not at any way ready to come out. Like so it just pulled it out. And the skin was healed. Remember that little hole I told you about that it grows through to anchor it in place? It can only hold so much. And so he pulled it right out. There was so much blood. We did not finish sexy time.
Oh, damn.
That's
that was the
worst
next question,
part.
honestly.
It stopped everything because I was crying.
Damn. Ouch. Yeah, that.
Could you
takes
imagine
the fun out of
anytime
it.
this dude somebody says choke me,
Choke
he's
me.
like, no.
You fucked him.
Absolutely
Can't do
not.
that again.
Meanwhile, it did not do anything about my fear of choking. I'm fine.
Good for you.
I can't go back to that life. I can't go back to that life.
Oh,
This
man.
one girl.
Every so often, he's just looking in the mirror. He's just like, what am I?
PTSD. Like he's like post-traumatic choke.
I'm dropping names today. That was Jason.
Okay, Jason. Damn. All right, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Jason. Let's do it, man. All right. Well, I'm impressed by these tats and these piercings. I do want to go back to Omar's because that lantern core thing is like something that I'm really interested in. I have you heard about the potential for them to make if I'm not mistaken, my man, we used to call him Peter Guns, but James Gunn, he's in the works of possibly creating a Lantern Corps live action type adaptation that should hopefully include our boy Jonathan. He was what you was calling it. So like, is that something you're looking forward to, or at this point, do we just expect DC shit to suck because it tends to do that first before it surprises us?
Well, for the Green Lantern thing, that's been I don't want to say like production hell or whatever, but like with James Gunn at it, and they trust him. So yeah, there's something to look forward to. It's supposed to be like a buddy cop thing, and like we're like, all right, was it gonna be? At first, it was gonna be a series. It was one Green Lantern. It was gonna be, I think, Guy Gardner, or then it was like switched to maybe Kal Rayner, and people are like, that's not the motherfucker we want. Right. Like, it's gonna be a buddy cop now. Okay, it's John Stewart. Like, all right, it has to be more than likely John Stewart as being one of them. But with it's something to look forward to. One, they had a great animated show as well.
Yeah.
There's also coming out the Green Lantern that N.K. Jemisin and Jamal Campbell made. So Jordan Mullane, she's gonna be meeting John Stewart for the very first time in a little that's a little short story, or whatever. So that's like the first black woman from Earth. Green Lantern meeting the first black Green Lantern from Earth as well. So that's like a big.
The Sojourner's like the one with the drip. Like she's got like hella
the best dressed Green Lantern. but you say like like DC Comics, like DC sucks at first. I mean, if you look at their movies or maybe the problem with DC is that they always keep we're gonna fix our retcons and make more retcons. We do this every year by redoing our history. They rewrote 76 years worth of history, but there are certain points where like they had great comic books. I think of when Tom King got on Batman. That was a good DC. Okay, DC's back, and we found Tom King's really good at doing these individualistic characters and whatnot. So like, let's give him like one shots of people. And so when he did Adam Strange, but then a really big one for me was Mr. Miracle. That series from it was Tom King and Mitch Gerads were the artists on it, and that was like for
the brain on this dude, like that shit, like is.
That's how I do try to be with Disney knowledge. I'm like, that's the if I'm gonna call myself that person, that's the level I have to be.
You realize how deep? Like I'd have to be like, so who were the animators? You know what I'm saying?
Right? No, but that's I can be like, yeah, Ron Clements and I just want to be able to say that shit.
this is not normal.
Okay,
So you know, like this shit is the shit that you do.
It is normal because it's not a big thing because I used to do the reviews for it.
Oh, okay.
So I remember it, but also, I mean, that's also like if I like a book, I you remember who wrote it, or who wrote it and made it, and like that was a really, really good book. And my friend Jordan would make fun of me because like no one giving a fuck about Mr. Miracle, but like a lot of people were giving a fuck about Mr. Miracle because it was being done by Tom King in the way Mitch Gerads drew it as well, and to a point where even I was at Comic-Con and I was like, oh hi, I'm Omar, meeting Mitch Gerads. I was like, I'm Omar from Black Knight Problems. How you doing? And he was like, yes, I love your yeah. He's like, you get it, you fucking get it. You get the reviews. But like DC had. There are certain points where they had like certain people on books. Again, when N.K. Jemisin came in for that Green Lantern story of Far Sector, they were good at getting, I don't want to say big names, but like finding the right people to do like, all right, here's freedom with this character. There may be a B-list character or a character you're creating, so there's no real major stakes, but like, help, fucking help. And time, all right, boom, here. And by doing that, I give this C or B-list character some like platform to stand on, and I can get people interested in that. Imagine what I could do with your main character, which I think probably how he got Batman. But yeah, like they had good moments as well. Like it just now it's sad now, but there's not a DC book I'm reading now, or like Steph Williams when she was with Nubia, how she got to redefine Nubia. Like they had these good, they had these moments where like Pulse still there. You know what I mean? And so like they had good moments. So I think you just got to pick like what good moment you liked from them, or you keep checking in every so often to be like, oh yeah, okay, well someone's on this book. Like they have I believe it's Kelly Thompson and Leo Romero and Jordan Belair, and they're gonna be on Birds of Prey. And that team, when now I hear it. They were the team that put Kate Bishop on the map as Hawkeye because she got the series after that legendary run with Matt Fraction and David Aja, that legendary run with Clint Barton. Kate Bishop got to be Hawkeye in her own series, and that was Kelly Thompson, Jordan Belair, and Leo Romero were the ones that like they put that shit together, and now they're over at DC. It's not unheard of, but like, oh, you're getting this team, the three again, not even just the artist and the writer. You get the letter and the inkist as well. There's three together to do what was done before. Now with Birds of Prey, like, oh, this is that's insane. So like that's something to be excited about. But like, it's hard because DC, like, you gotta. To me, we're gonna make you here, bitch. Search through that to find what you can be excited about. Whereas Marvel's like, hey, we're doing this.
How you feel, Tyrone? Like, in the realm of DC, is it just now stand for disappointing content as opposed to what it was like Detective Comics? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, homeboy?
I haven't read any DC since I was a kid, so all of my DC experience now has been TV and movies.
Why?
There hasn't been now. Frankie gave some interesting characters one day where I was like, I gotta like remember these, and then I did.
Shout out to Frankie.
Shout out to Frankie, and I'm also ask you about these characters. But like really, there wasn't anything that was screaming for me to read it, so I was just like not pulled in, to reading those again. I used to read Superman a lot. I used to read Batman and stuff. But yeah, it's. Now I think they're focusing on where the money is more now, and that's in movies, and they're trying to follow the Marvel mold and stuff. James Gunn worries me because he talks too much.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes,
oh, I did not know this was. Can tell
me. Yeah, he's a Twitter guy. I gotta give my opinion. I'm gonna respond to comments and replies.
Got you.
It's do your thing or whatever. And James Gunn's made a lot of fun stuff. Peacemaker, I think, was probably the best DC was doing.
Yeah,
certified.
And so kudos for that. But also like he got that DC power. He started getting a little bit loud, and he started getting a little bit like he comes off as thin-skinned, which in that position you can't be.
Kevin Feige's like, diss me, you'll never hear a reply for it.
Right. It's stupid.
So so I'm worried that it's gonna get all weird and stuff. What I hope he does is just like cocoon himself in whatever way socially he needs to, and just tell good stories. Just tell some good stories. It doesn't even matter. I don't even have any requests on what characters. Just give me a good story for literally anybody.
Could I suggest a book you might like from DC?
Please, yeah.
It's the 1994 Starman, Jack Knight. That kind of like was a redefining moment for like, because he's like, oh yeah, you're a superhero. Like, I don't want to do this shit. My dad did this shit. My brother did this shit. Killed him. Motherfucker fell off or whatever. And like, I don't want to do this shit. Well, it was like, you kind of got to do this shit. So it was like, all right, but not like a whole like, oh, I'm putting on like a spandex and shit like that. Like my man's like, I got my goggles, I got my daddy's rod, I got this fucking trench jacket. All right, I guess I'm going out tonight, like that, and like more like things finding him instead of him like going out. He's like, I don't even dog. He's like, oh, Starman. He's like, that was my dad, dude. I ain't even. What do you want? What do you want? He's like, oh, I need this shirt because the devil wants a shirt. Here, take it. He's like, you're not gonna fight, but no, I don't want. Like, you ruined my shop. Like, I think you'd be really interested in that.
I love that.
Okay.
I think his name. I think it was Jack Knight. Yeah, and Ted Knight was the father. So I think that it's the 1994 one.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. I do. Along with you, I did read Batman up to a point, and I was like, well, all of this is now live action. So even though it's not, because there's like 18 Robins now, it's a whole other problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, Peacemaker. I mean, I think DC has its moments. It has its moments, but they're not long-lived moments. Watchmen was a moment, not the movie.
Yeah.
I thought
but
the
the
movie
show.
was great.
The movie was fine.
Shot for shot, it looked right from the
The
comic
movie was
book.
fine, especially Rorschach's depiction, even though they didn't give off his racism as they probably, they didn't depict him as the racist he was. If I'm not, well, he had a little bit more prejudice in the graphic novels, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he was a harder line dude. He said some real fucked up shit. Am I missing? You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No. I'm
You know what I'm
trying
saying?
to.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Rorschach, and now it's been a while
Rorschach,
since
and that's one of those characters they say, like, if you
you're a fan of
identify
him,
with
yeah.
the character, you need to
Yeah,
reevaluate. You're not supposed to be
yeah.
a fan of this guy.
Yeah. I mean, but they that's not in the movie. He was a hero. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. That's fine. Comedian as well. Jeffrey. I didn't mind that. But Regina King though, bruh, and Yaya, that was it for me. Like,
Yeah.
For the
to see the
series.
first scene of this freaking show with the Tulsa massacres
Yep.
of 1921. I've never seen before, and this is in a comic book, and the way they depicted it made me look at it different. Like, I'd always known about the Tulsa massacre and what they did with the usual white fright. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he touched me. Oh, okay, we're gonna kill everybody in town. But like, to see, it's one thing to read about a bomb dropping on your city, but it's another thing to see what it looks like for a single engine jet, to fly low within like rock's throw distance and like drop a bomb on you. Like, now who knows if that happened like it did, but it gave me more context for like, holy fuck, like, this wasn't like, oh shit, bells ringing, everybody get out of town, you know what I'm saying? There's bombs dropping at 3. It's like, oh shit, oh, I'm out here to get some groceries, and oh shit, there's a bomb dropping on my right, and I just love the notion, and I just wonder, like, it just feels like DC's being pulled in different directions. Like, we want them to go Milestone, but they keep going Bill Finger. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's fucking nice. Nice.
It's like they refuse to, like, just give us the Milestone shit, man. Give me the Icon. Give me the Static. Like, we want that. And with Far Sector, I even feel like this is Black Panther motivated. And you correct me if I'm wrong. Like, Far Sector is fairly new.
That was like a couple came out. Let's say like that was like 2020 sometime.
After
yeah.
Black Panthers made $1 billion.
Are you saying like the story from Far Sector, or like giving N.K. Jemisin
I'm sorry,
a shot?
I'm thinking mainly more about Sojourner, as in terms of like the leaning into the blackness with the lanterns. And putting them a little bit more forefront. No?
Well, so I hear what you're saying, but I think that ship has sailed for them. I think DC and Warner Brothers specifically, I think that they have decided that that content that is geared more towards blackness is that, and they're going away from it. I mean, I think they made that decision most publicly when they
canceled back.
And everything that they've done since looks like they're going to be going more towards a different audience. Let's just say they basically made Batman a cop. Like, Batman is a cop now.
I mean, he's a cop without borders. He's in Central City. He's doing shit at other freaking places, man. He's freaking ho, man. But yeah, I just wish that they would, like. I sometimes wonder if Stan Lee was at DC instead of Marvel.
They did that.
Yeah.
That was done.
Wait, what?
Stan Lee, how he would have created certain characters. That was actually done.
Please put me on.
I forgot what it's called. It was like, Stan Lee. Let's just call it Stan Lee creates the DC universe. It's like how he Stan Lee imagines DC or whatever. It's how he imagined Aquaman, how he imagined the Green Lantern, how he imagined Flash, Batman, Superman, and I believe the Justice League as well. This was God. I must have been in like high school.
Was this
maybe.
a book? Or,
yeah, it's a series of books. It's like each one an individual like comic.
oh shit!
This was back in I want to say 2000. I was in 2000 between 2001 to 2003 then, or 2002 then. Yeah, 2001. God damn, I was sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DC, because I think he had left Marvel at time. I mean, they had got him. He was, in a sense, like I guess freelance in a sense.
He was kind of freelance
for a while. Yeah, it was like, here's a big thing that happened. Oh, well, he comes over to DC Comics and like, okay, well, here's how Stan Lee imagines DC Comics, and like, and he imagined each character. Yeah,
I mean that's hard because some people would argue that Marvel and DC have interchangeable characters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's
they
been a thing.
definitely are
like,
inspired
like
by each other.
And
Deadpool.
They
Deadpool
both
was
have Atlantis. You know, I mean, even though it's Telecom now.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, Deadpool was a straight shot off of Deathstroke because Slade Wilson, like, all right, well, Wade Wilson.
Literally. I mean, look,
I would fight somebody. That's like being on The Price is Right. And one person goes 2,000, and the other person goes 2001. I would burn the studio down.
I love the new Blerd Order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through